Good morning, everybody. Little middle of the week video here. Haven't done a whole lot more on the little gypsy wagon. It's tough with that thing slow going because there's all these little tiny meticulous parts that need glued together that are very frail and take time drying because I can't use CA because of all the chrome. So I'm not used to gluing things together and having to wait for hours or overnight for stuff to dry, but that's kind of what's happening, and it's really slowed things down. I've got most of the basic build done and the other components that go on it, but now I'm putting all these little tiny parts on that are having to dry overnight. So anyway, that's where that's at. But I wanted to show you today an older build, and one that means a whole lot to me for multiple reasons, but let's get to it and show you. This is the Lindberg Eliminator Dragster, and this is on my bench here at work. Let me turn another light on here. I first time I saw one of these builds was probably in the early 90s. I went to a model contest down in West Palm Beach. I was still doing the contest thing back then. And that's when I met my good friend Sonny Depalma for the first time. And he had come to the show just strictly to display some of his work. And one of the guys putting on the show was like, "Oh, you got to meet this guy." You know, he brought a bunch of his stuff and come over here. And he introduced me to Sonny. And one of the things that Sonny had there was, besides all of his handmade monsters and a bunch of RC cars and stuff he'd painted, was one of those dragster kits, and really cool colors on it, and he'd built little monsters to sit around and stuff, and I was just blown away. I just loved the kit. So when I got back home, I went and found one of the kits and bought it, and I built the single engine version with the body. You could build that thing with multiple engines with an open rail frame on it, or the body version would take the single engine, but it's got all the plumbing with it. I think you can actually motorize it to make the rear wheels turn. I didn't do all that stuff, but I just really love the kit. So I came home and built this single engine version. This is painted with House of Colors candy purple, and there are ghost flames under there, and kind of get the light here. So they're on the nose and they are on the blower scoop there. Hopefully that's showing up. So did those under there by using a red base color over the silver to put those underneath there. And this is House of Colors urethane. So it came out really good. Just, you know, it's big, so it's nice and easy to paint. And there's a rat fink on the back of it, of course. As you can see, you know, this comes with seat belts and got all your plumbing and everything. Here on the motor, got your wires and your fuel lines. So it's really a nice kit. And so I built this, let's just say it was 93, so time has slipped away, obviously. So that's what was that, 31 years ago? Is that right? Close to it. 31 years ago. Of course, we lost Sonny 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago in November that he passed away from cancer, which just blows my mind because it just seems like yesterday I was hanging with him. And I think that's why this build means so much to me, because it was inspired by him. And you know, it's funny because a couple of years before he died, we were talking about this, and I said something about his, and he's like, "Oh, I cut that thing up years ago for parts." So that was him. You know, I mean, it's something I thought was an incredible build. He's just like, I never really liked it that much anyway, so I cut it up, and I think he put like a coupe body on it or something and made something different out of it. You know, if he ever finished it, he was pretty good at chopping stuff up and kit bashing, and some incredible builds. And if you haven't seen his work, it's on my website. If you haven't seen my website, go take a look. I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is my website. This is www.ratdaddystudios.com. It's going to get you redirected there because this is actually on a photo hosting site called Smugbug, so you'll get redirected. And when you get to this homepage, you can just click on this, and it opens up all these galleries. So like this is a galleries of finished work, and you can see, you can scroll through, and there's a little bit of everything in there. And back here on the home page, if you go to the galleries of photos and art, that's going to take you in there to several pages of stuff you can view. But one of the #1 galleries always on my website is Sonny's work. Say Sonny's been gone for 10 years now, and that's him. But his work is just incredible. I mean, there's just, you know, and if you haven't seen this stuff, his model work, his scale speed shop, his paint work is just mind-boggling. He was a master of all things small. He really was. And he was also my good friend and my mentor for many years, and I really miss him. And he lives through my work and some of my friends' work every time I work on something. Every time I paint, every time I work on stuff. I'm sorry. I get choked up talking about him because I miss him. And, you know, sometimes life isn't fair. And to me, this is one of those instances because he just, we thought he was going to be okay. And as things happen, as shit happens in life, shit happened, and we lost him. So it was a really traumatic event in my life. I had lost my dad, I lost Sonny, all within a year, and so I had a hard time that year. But again, we all know these things happen. But anyway, but yeah, his work lives on in all of us. You know that he had a couple other people that he mentored along the way who are just incredible artists. My buddy Artie is probably the closest to being able to paint like Sonny of anybody I've ever seen. He's down in South Florida there. He's a nice guy. His artwork is incredible, and he's able to do a lot of the things that Sonny invented as far as the style of paint. Artie can do it. He's just really an amazing painter. But anyway, so yeah, so check it out. Check out the website. I had last month almost 32,000 views on that site, and which is more than I've ever had. Probably because of the YouTube videos. I think that adds to it. But you know, people out there looking, and I think a lot of it, like I said, Sonny's gallery is almost always in the top 10. Usually, honestly, it's either 1 or 2 on views every month. So his work is still hanging in there, which I love, the fact that people still go look at his work. But that's what we want. But anyway, so check it out if you get a minute. And in the meantime, take one last look at the Eliminator Dragster. And these kits are still out there. They're getting up there a little pricey. You know, they usually go for 150, 200 bucks. But if you like the large scale stuff, it goes together nice. And it's got working steering, which works actually really well, as you can see. And it turns the steering wheel when you turn the front end. So yeah, there's a lot going on there for a big scale kit. But it's nice. So you might... if you want to try large scale, this might be one to try out. I actually would like to get another one and try to do a dual motor version, maybe with the open rail on the front of it. So you never know, could happen in the future. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I will be posting again. I'm probably going to have that little stogie rolling along here finished, probably, I hope, in the next week or so. I did some paint work on the chassis for the Stingery, so I'm going to start progressing on that a little bit more, and on my Rat Fink, my 3D printer Rat Fink. So hang in there, stay tuned. In the meantime, keep building, and I will see you guys all again real soon. Thanks for tuning in.